about that Sonic Frontiers trailer at Gamescom? Y'all want to know my thoughts on it, right? Well, I'll tell you what I think. My heart sank. My world literally collapsed around me. I felt let down. I was pulling for Sega. I was rooting for Sega to make Sonic Frontiers worth the purchase. And they just keep adding mess up after mess up to their resume. It's almost impressive. Almost. I'm not convincing you, am I? Alright, I was totally trolling you. Here's my actual feedback on the Sonic Frontiers trailer. It was more than cool. It was electrifying. Y'all thought I was gonna go for way past cool, didn't you? Seriously, this trailer was awesome. There was not one thing about it I didn't like. Actually, I lied. I do have one minor nitpick about the trailer, and it's the lack of the vocal theme. After hearing that clip in the Japanese ad, I was hoping to hear it in full, or at least a larger sample of it in this trailer, but nah, it was nowhere to be found. Man, that sucked. But this really isn't a big deal. I'm sure we'll get to hear it in full later on, and it's releasing in 2.5 months from now, November 8th, 2022. Funnily enough, that information was accidentally leaked by Sega of Japan just before Gamescom happened. They put out a trailer which actually had the release date, and they have since unlisted it. Though now that information is public knowledge, they probably relisted it. But anyway, let's get into the content of the Gamescom trailer and why I'm more excited than ever for Sonic Frontiers. The trailer starts off by almost giving me a heart attack when that poor little Coco almost got killed by that robot, and the Sonic jumped in and saved him, thank God. Attacking a Coco is as criminal as attacking a Chow. It's unforgivable, it's unheard of, it's terrible. Just for that, I'm going to make it my life's goal to junk every machine that I find when I finally get this game. And that is a promise. I don't even need to talk about the cutscenes because from watching the past trailers, you guys already knew what they would deliver in that department. Rarely do Sonic games ever disappoint when it comes to cinematics, and in the case of Frontiers, it could either match up to or surpass Sonic Unleashed. They looked that good, and with the help of next generation hardware, oh my god, it's gonna be even better. Y'all thought Sonic Unleashed was ahead of its time when it came out in 2008? Nah man, this is the chosen one. But of course we all know that it isn't just good cinematics that make for a great video game, it's also about the experience. So at this point, you might be asking, what do I think of the gameplay? Before we get to that, let's talk about the voice actor, starting with Sage. Was her VA ever identified by name? If so, I'm not aware of it. I looked around for a bit and found no information about that. But whoever it is, she deserves her due props because she did an excellent job in conveying the mystique that surrounds this character. They are really selling me on Sage, man. She looks awesome. I need to know more about her story pronto. And then there's Sonic. Though his dialogue consists of only 4 words in total for this trailer, it's their delivery that caught my attention. As we know, the modern voice cast will be reprising their roles for Sonic Frontiers, so in the case of Knuckles, modern could mean either Travis Willingham, who voiced the character since the DS version of Sonic Colors, or Davey Mitchell, who took over the role with Team Sonic Racing. In this case, it's going to be Dave voicing Knuckles. The rest of the modern voice cast is just as you've known them. So here we've got Roger Craig Smith as Sonic, and though it's only 4 words, I have to say that he is doing excellent. You can immediately see signs of a change in the voice direction, and they are producing remarkable results for Roger's Sonic. You can clearly hear the combination of concern and relief when he's asking about Amy while she's trapped inside that horrible crystal prison there. I get evil vibes just looking at it. I don't even want to imagine what Amy must be going through right now. And listening to Sonic sound so worried as he does, oh my god, this game's serious undertone. I am just not ready for it, but at the same time, I am. This is something I've hoped to see in a Sonic game again for years, bro. But despite knowing that Tails, Knuckles, and Eggman will be in the game, we see no signs of them, and therefore we don't hear from their voice actors. So it's at this moment that we're moving on to the gameplay, and we'll start with the cyberspace stages. You won't really find anything groundbreaking here as they're showing us stages that we've already known about. First, there's a highway stage from Nintendo Direct, then there's Green Hill but in Sunset and from a 2.5D perspective this time, and finally there is Sky Sanctuary from a purely 3D perspective. From a leaked footage at Summer Game Fest, we already knew that we were getting Sky Sanctuary, but seeing it from this perspective in the trailer, it looks sick. Sky Sanctuary is a stage I'm normally neutral on, but I'm actually quite excited to play through it in Sonic Frontiers now. It might sound strange, but really I'm excited to play it. The same goes with a desert island, of which they supplied a screenshot last week. And by the way, it's called Ares Island, just as the first island is called Kronos Island. Speaking of the islands, get this, there are 5 in total. Yes, 5. You learn this from the updated bio for the game's purchase page on the Nintendo Switch and Steam platforms, and I'm pretty sure you will find similar details at the Xbox and PlayStation pages, or at least you will later on if they haven't been updated yet. Furthermore, you can check the game's official website and you'll find the same information there, frontiers.sonicthehedgehog.com. Now that we know that there are 5 islands, it makes me wonder how the cyberspace stages will be distributed across all 5 of them. And better yet, what will the other islands be like? We know we're getting your standard grassroots island with Kronos Island, and we're also getting a desert island with Ares Island. So how will the other 3 islands play out? My best possible guess is that at least one of those islands will be leaning towards the element of water, as in it'll have things like ponds and waterfalls. I mean, waterfalls are mentioned in the description for the game, so I think that's a given. But what will the other 2 islands be like? Will they have completely different weather patterns, or elements, or something? Next up, the gameplay. Many have expressed concerns about it appearing largely automated, and I admit it's a concern I myself share to an extent after watching the first batch of footage in June. But while there might be something to be said for that when it comes to the rail grinding, apparently they're throwing in wall jumps also when engaging in air travel above the islands. Is it weird but I'm this hyped for Sonic to be wall jumping in Frontiers despite it being a skill that he's always had? I don't know, there's just something about the way it's presented here that's getting me stoked. And then there's the combat gameplay. It appears they've changed up some of the combat animations that we've glimpsed before. You remember, for example, that whirlwind move where Sonic is spinning around upside down, it just looks so awkward? They seem to have fixed that. If this clip is anything to go by, it looks like a proper whirlwind attack that leaves devastating effects. And then we see Sonic move straight towards another enemy and engaging it. It's been said in hands-on impression, but Sonic's controls felt very smooth and responsive in this game, and I think it is here that we see it in a much better light. Finally, what the heck is happening to Sonic's right hand? It's like it's suffering from the same visual effects that we see from Sage. Is he getting cursed, or cyberized, or whatever it is, because it seems to be causing him great pain. I can't help but wonder if this was inspired by the Metal Virus arc, since, you know, Ian Flynn is involved in writing the story. Funnily enough, I just thought of that while I was making this video. The trailer ends off by revealing the cover art for Sonic Frontiers, and it's the very same artwork that you'll remember seeing from EGX London the day they announced that this game will be featured at their event later this September, right on the heels of the Tokyo Game Show. And although we like to rag on the abundance of rails over the island, you have to admit that it makes for a nice piece of artwork right here. They could not have gone with anything better. Capture Sonic's razor-sharp attitude and a nice angle of Kronos Island from overhead. It is perfect. I couldn't be happier. Like with most games, there are benefits for either pre-ordering the game or buying the digital deluxe edition, or even doing both, like, you know, this guy right here is gonna do. But what startles me the most are the content of the digital deluxe edition, as it comes with a variety of key items that I would not have expected to get access to before even starting the game, and yet they're listed right here. Amy's memory tokens, Knuckles memory tokens, Tails memory tokens, Portal gears, and even Chaos Emerald Vault keys. I thought you would have had to collect all of these in the game itself, but they're giving you a leg up if you get digital deluxe? Well, I've got no complaints here, man. And as a side note, if you get the game at GameStop, you get a clean Steelbook with Sonic Frontiers artwork. That Steelbook is definitely going into my collection, as I have every intention of buying this game physically. I know it's been a greater focus on digital media, but there will always be that charm to owning games physically that I never want to be without. You feel me? If you're planning on getting the game for PC, unfortunately I have a bit of bad news. De Novo is back. after having been removed before. It's back now. So once again, it is a pressing matter. This part of why I'll be getting the game for console, other than the fact my PC definitely can't handle Frontiers. For my final verdict, this trailer has sold me. I am so ready for the release of Sonic Frontiers. I'd already been covering a lot of content for it since it was first introduced, and to be so close to actually playing the game for myself, experiencing it, it's so bizarre, so hard to believe. I simply can't put into words how excited I am for this game, and I don't think many of you can either, but I think we all get the idea. 2.5 months left, and then Sonic Frontiers is finally here. I'm looking forward to all the gameplay videos, maybe some tutorials that I'll be doing for it. I see myself investing countless hours into this game. And those are my thoughts on the Gamescom trailer. If you agree or disagree, whichever it may be, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And I look forward to making more Sonic Frontiers related content in the near future. Until then, I'll see you next time. Ring that bell and hit that sub button for more Sonic content, and don't forget to drop me those likes and comments down below as they really do help with the growth of my channel. Catch y'all later, and don't forget, blue blurs for life. Peace out.